Welcome to Bogglesox TV. We've got lots of classic and original TV shows. Subscribe now and enjoy the video.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can!
Grandpa! No! Be careful! Grandpa, stop! Grandpa, in my pocket! There was a lot going on in the Mason house today. Yes! Mum was in the kitchen doing her latest hobby, making fancy dress costumes.
Aren't I just the most beautiful fairy tale fairy that you've ever seen?
And it wasn't just Great Aunt Loretta who was dressing up. We were all going to the Sunnysands fancy dress party. And we all had to be fairy tale characters.
What's so funny? You'll laugh on the other side of your face when you see what you're wearing.
Grandpa, time to try your costume on. You too, Jason.
What do you think we're going to be, Jason?
I hope it's something good, like a knight in shining armour.
I fancy being a giant. Thought it'd make a change.
But Mum had other ideas for us. Yes, we were going to the fancy dress party as Big Elf, Little Elf.
What do you think?
Very nice.
Very nice. We don't look very nice. We look very fantastical and very fairy tale-like.
I know.
Especially me.
I know.
But you've taken so long making these that you're going to run out of time.
I know. I've still got Dad and Jemima's costume to finish and I haven't even started on my own.
Exactly. You need help. Luckily, I know someone who's absolutely brilliant at making costumes. My very good friend, Mrs. Maridadi.
Mrs. Maridadi wears the most amazing and unusual clothes. Like this. And this.
And here she is now.
Mrs. Maridadi makes them all herself.
Darlings, I came as soon as I heard the terrible news.
What terrible news?
I gather you have a costume crisis, a dressing-up disaster, a fancy dress fiasco.
Well, I just said we needed a bit of help.
You need an enormous amount of help. Who made these dreadful costumes?
I did. I thought they were rather good.
Oh, no, darling. The colours clash, the bows are too big, the skirt's too short. Your wand is bent. And what are you two supposed to be?
Big Elf.
And Little Elf.
But you can't possibly be elves. Everybody knows that elves wear green. You cannot have a red elf. And they don't wear big beards like this. These are for gnomes. And what about your caps? Everybody knows that elves wear flower petal caps.
Actually, this is exactly what elves look like.
Oh, yes, and how would you know? You've never seen one. Unless you're telling me you have elves at the bottom of your garden.
I think I'd better get on.
Things weren't going very well for Grandpa, and they were about to get a whole lot worse.
I know what we can use for Grandpa's flower petal cap. This whole thing.
No!
You can't! Grandpa's cap is magic, and when he puts it on, he shrinks, like this. And this. And this.
Catch me if you can!
I'm the only one who knows about Grandpa's magic shrinking cap, and we couldn't have everybody finding out about it now. That would be a disaster.
Give it back, Loretta.
I won't.
But it doesn't look anything like an elf's cap.
It doesn't now, but it will. Oh, try it on for me, please, darling.
No, I don't want to.
Do as you're told, Grandpa.
Oh, come on, don't be a silly elf.
Oh, I had to do something. If Mrs. Maridadi put Grandpa's cap on his head, everybody was going to get the shock of their lives.
Now he's gone for a little lie down. Typical.
Oh, it doesn't matter, darling. Once I've turned this into a divine flower petal cap, he'll never want to take it off. Now, show me what everybody else is wearing. My things, darling?
So off she went to make Grandpa a flower petal cap and to see what everyone else was wearing. It's all right, Grandpa, they're gone.
We've got to get the shrinking cap back, Jason.
But the shrinking cap was already a flower petal cap, and now...
You don't look like a king. You look like a strawberry ice cream sundae. The breeches are too tight, the shirt's not ruffly enough, and the crown is too big.
I thought I looked perfect.
So did I.
I didn't.
And who are you?
A fairy tale princess, of course.
More like the kitchen maid. You'd look better in a sleeping bag, darling. But not to worry. I can fix it. I can fix anything. Ah, see what I mean? A flower petal cap. Fixed.
Great. Let's see what it looks like on Grandpa. Don't lurk, Jason. I can't stand lurking. Oi, Grandpa, don't be so lazy. Come on out, try your cap on.
No.
Oh, he always was awkward, ever since he was a little boy.
Let me try, Great Aunt Loretta. He might do it for me.
Oh, thank you, Jason. What a helpful little elf you are. Oi, hurry up, Grandpa. Mrs. Maridadi wants you in the garden.
The good news was I had Grandpa's shrinking cap. The bad news was it was covered in flower petals. I've got it, Grandpa. You can come out now.
Oh, well done, Jason.
Of course, Grandpa being Grandpa had a plan.
So, Mrs. Maridadi wants to see me in the garden, does she? Right. Shrinking cap, please, Jason.
Quickly then, shrink, Grandpa, shrink! You know what Grandpa's like when he's got a plan. There's no stopping him. Off he ran through the sitting room and across the kitchen.
There are too many people about. I've got to get her on her own.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, where's Grandpa? Did he put his cap on?
Oh, yes.
Should think so too. Where is he then?
I'm not sure.
Gone back to bed, I expect. I never knew such a lazy elf.
Oh, it's no good. They're still not working. They look dreadful. Ghastly. A complete and utter disaster. What are we going to do? I need a clever idea.
You're not going to rip them up and start from scratch, are you, Mrs. Maridadi?
Aha! That's the clever idea.
No way! I love my costume!
I got rid of Jemima
So do I.
and Dad
Actually, I quite like mine as well.
and Great Aunt Loretta.
How dare you run away like that? Come back! Oh, this is too much. Too much.
Now, I just had to get rid of
We're
Mum.
working with an artiste of the very highest quality. What are we going to do?
I expect Mrs. Maridadi would like a cup of tea.
I think we could all do with one.
Now it was up to Grandpa.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the famous costume maker, Mrs. Maridadi. Ah! Come back. I want to talk to you. Now, there's nothing to be scared of. Not everyone gets to meet a real live elf.
You're an elf?
But of course I'm an elf. Red jerkin, red trousers, fluffy white beard, pointy shoes. What else could I be but a cute little elf?
I don't know. I've never seen a cute little elf before.
This time Grandpa had gone too far.
Oh, you're divine. And you look just like Grandpa and Jason.
Too right I do. And Dad looks just like a fairy tale king, and Jemima is exactly like a fairy tale princess.
Really? Are you sure?
Well, I should know. I come from fairy tale land after all. And as for Loretta, she's the spitting image of all the fairies I've ever met.
Oh, darling, I had no idea. How sweet of you to tell me.
You don't have to do a thing with those costumes. They're perfect just as they are.
I understand, darling.
You go home and leave them to it. But don't tell anyone you met me. No one will believe you anyway.
It'll be our secret. Promise.
And with that, Grandpa jumped off her hand and was gone.
Oh, well, at least I got the flower petal cap right.
Cup of tea, Mrs. Maridadi.
Oh, no thanks, darling. I'm going home. You don't need me. You're a wonderful costume maker. I just want to say you all look absolutely divine, as if you just stepped out of a fairy tale. I'm off now to make my own costume. See you at the party.
I always knew she was peculiar.
I rushed out to the garden just as Grandpa came out of his hiding place. He took off his flower petal shrinking cap and came back to his normal size.
You make a great elf, Grandpa.
So do you, Jason. Teamwork, eh?
Teamwork.
We all helped Mum to finish the costumes. And soon we were ready to go to the Sunnysands fancy dress party. Dad was a king, Jemima was a princess, Great Aunt Loretta was a fairy, and Mum was a pumpkin.
You look divine.
I know.
Come on, let's go.
Put your cap on, Grandpa.
I don't think so.
family in Hairyland, and we're the Hairy Fairies, telling all the stories
and singing in a band.
We had a little accident with our magic and turned the world hairy.
Oh, how tragic!
We ran out of spells in our hairy fairy tree,
but they don't care.
They love to be hairy. Hairies, finding all the laughter in Hairyland. Ma, Pa,
and Minnie,
and don't forget there's Nana
and Chihuahua, the hairy pet.
But up on the hill in Chateau Shampoo, there's Boris Boo-Hoo.
And Boise too.
Boris is trouble, you wait and see. But they don't care, they love to be hairy. Hairies.
Not really, Quiff. It's got to be yellow. Bright yellow, like the hairy sun.
Oh, hi. Wiggy wants a new dress.
Yes, a yellow one with sparkles and frilly bits and everything.
If only we hadn't run out of magic.
Oh, I know. I could have just magicked up a dress and it would have appeared. Poof! Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Oh.
Never mind, Wiggy. You look lovely just as you are.
But it's a bit boring wearing the same thing every day.
Remember that time Boris Boo-Hoo got bored with his disguises?
I do. That was so funny. Listen. One bright sunny day, we were flying around Hairyland looking for an adventure.
Picky, popper me round Hairyland.
Round Hairyland.
I am Quick.
And I am Wiggy.
We're the Hairy Fairy Band. Woo!
Ma and Minnie Haha had been shopping in Hairytown.
We landed in the hairy pear tree just in time to see what they'd bought.
Lots and lots of lovely costumes. Because Minnie was putting on a dance show.
Well, you know what Minnie Haha's like. She just loves dancing. fantastic. Minnie, ha-ha, she is so gymnastic. Watch her go, go, stretchy as elastic. Hopping, leaping,
Skipping, jumping.
careful Minnie, mind the bumping. Minnie, oh Minnie, ha-ha. There was netting and feathers and sparkles and lots of hairy stuff, of course.
Everyone started dancing and prancing about, especially Pa-ha-ha.
Because this was the day for dancing and prancing.
But up on the hill at Chateau Shampoo, someone was bored. Can you guess who?
Boris, boo-hoo, what's he gonna do?
Boris was looking at his disguises.
Hats, cloaks, jackets, trousers, beards, moustaches, and lots of terrible wigs.
And he was bored with all of them. Bored, bored, bored.
Just then, Boris heard the sound of laughter rising from the valley. He picked up his hairy stary.
And he saw the Ha-Ha Hairies dancing and prancing. He thought they looked very silly.
Boris Boo-hoo would never make a fool of himself like that.
Then he saw Ma and Nana taking the costumes into the house.
And he had an idea.
Those costumes would make fantastic new disguises. And he was bored of his disguises.
But how could he get hold of them? Boris needed a plan. Boris needs a plan, he needs a plan as quick as he can. He needs a plan, he needs it quick.
He needs to plan a clever trick.
What'll it be?
What'll it be?
What'll it be?
And the plan was this.
Boris was going to get Boise to join the dance show.
And while they were all busy practicing the dancing, Boris was going to take all the costumes.
Back at the Ha-Ha Hairies' house, Ma was fixing Nana's costume.
Nana was very pleased with it. She couldn't wait to get dancing.
And outside, Minnie was teaching Pa some steps for a hairy ballet.
I can do that thing with your leg in the air. Look, Chris.
Wiggy, what did I say?
Ouch!
Shush.
Just then, Boris and Boise turned up.
Boise saw Minnie and bumped into Boris.
Pa was really pleased to see Boris.
But Chihuahua wasn't. He knew that Boris was probably up to something.
And he was right.
Boris asked if Boise could join Minnie's dance show. And of course, Minnie said yes.
Then Pa asked if Boris wanted to join in too.
But Boris said he was far too busy for dancing and prancing. Far too busy.
Boris had to get Ma and Nana out of the house. So he said Boise needed a costume.
Of course, Boise needed a costume. Pa went to get Ma and Nana. You okay, Wiggy?
No, I've got a bruise right on my bottom.
What's so funny about the word bottom? Nana was so pleased to see Boris.
But Boris wanted to get into the house to find the other costumes.
So he asked her to see to Boise's costume. Then he waved goodbye.
But as soon as he saw they were all busy with Boise, he did this.
He grabbed as many costumes as he could carry and was about to leave
when he saw Boise and Minnie in their costumes, about to practice their dance.
So Boris had to wait. Having a friend means being together. That's what friends are for. Having a friend means doing whatever. That's what friends are for.
So come along, come play with me.
Take my hand and stay with me. Spend your every day with me. That's what friends are for.
Having a friend means cheering each other. That's what
Friends are for. Very best friends are like sister and brother. That's what friends are for.
So come along, come play with me.
Take my hand and stay with me. Spend your every day with me.
That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for. At last, it was Boris's chance. While everyone was saying well done to Boise and Minnie, he tippy-toed across the garden and hid behind the bumblebee bush.
Did you see that?
Yeah, but it's okay, Wiggy, because Chihuahua saw it too.
Yes, Chihuahua had seen Boris, and he wasn't going to let him get away with it.
He barked, and Boris nearly jumped out of his skin.
When the Hairies saw Boris with the rest of the costumes, they thought he wanted to be in the dance show too.
And of course he could wear the tutu.
Boris boo-hoo in a tutu. Boris boo-hoo in a tutu.
All right, Wiggy, calm down or you'll fall over again.
Soon everyone was in their costumes. It was time for the hairy ballet to begin.
Boris hadn't managed to get hold of any new disguises after all. And he'd ended up in a ballet.
And it served him right.
Oh, I loved that hairy ballet. Boris was hilarious.
Oh, remember that spinny thing they did, Quiff? I can do that. Look.
No, Wiggy. No. Stop.
Oh, sorry. Did you hurt your bottom?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did.
Oh, poor Quiff. You hurt your bottom.
Wiggy, there's nothing wrong with the word bottom.